Right, boys, we're back for another episode of the F123 driver career right here. Starting it off with a department event, choosing a rivalry. We obviously decided to go with Esteban Ocon because there's no way I'm going to beat Charles Leclerc. So that's the first thing. See, we have some worn components. Obviously, engine failure in the last race. Very disappointing. So we're going to swap that one out and get some upgrades on the car. Now, I did want to do this chassis upgrade, but it said the capacity was reached. So yeah, we ended up putting on an engine power upgrade, and I'm pretty sure that was it. Right, boys, getting to quali, not a great start. We got a fuel system fault. So, yeah, wet quali. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully both cars can have another good qualifying. Hopefully get into Q3 like we did in Canada. So, here we are starting our first lap of quali. In the wet on the inters. I do like the new updated version of Austria, especially the first corner. A lot more drivable, I reckon, for me. And yeah, I reckon I've been a lot better at, turn 3 as well. So that's great. Hopefully, like I just said, we can make it through, aiming for Q3. The car is nearly catching up to Aston Martin. I'm pretty sure Aston Martin might have actually jumped Ferrari at the start of this weekend, or just before it. So interesting. Obviously, it is a sprint race, so we'll have plenty of opportunities to try make up positions if we don't get it quite right in quali. So coming towards the end of our first run, it's not a bad lap so far. I felt pretty decent. Let's run it up to the line and see where it puts us. It is going to put us in P7. Very solid. Very solid lap there. Definitely take that in the top 10. Just ahead of Piastri and Hamilton. And this is enough to get us through. Same with L1. About, a half a tenth behind. Just over. Solid for him. Alonso out. Wow. Sonoda, Ocon, De Vries, Hulkenberg. So already good for us. Seeing our new rival in Esteban Ocon out in Q1. So yeah, let's get straight into Q2. Here we are for our first run in Q2. Still in the inters. I don't think it's going to get any drier throughout the session. So hopefully we can just follow up with another clean lap like we did in Q1. Wasn't many mistakes, if any, in that first lap of Q1. So let's just try and hit every apex as best we can. Getting turn 3 down pretty good there, as we now obviously can't open the DRS because there is none in the wet. So yeah, hopefully, like I was just saying, hit most of the apexes, not too many moments of oversteer. Let's just put a solid lap together, and hopefully that should be enough to see us get into Q3. Here we are running it up to the line. And where's it going to put us? P4. 3 tenths behind Leclerc. Ahead of Sainz and Russell. So very promising signs. So yeah, let's have a look. Oh my god. We're out. So what happened was, I looked at the thing with about 3 minutes to go. We were pretty comfortably in about, P4 or whatever it was. So I decided to just chance it and not go back out. And, yep, It's really screwed us over. So myself, Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen, Piastri out of Q2. Look at Alex Albon up in P2, so close to having provisional pole. That's great stuff from Alex. Finally pulling his weight. So yeah. Anyway, let's jump into the sprint then, and let's hopefully try and make a push for that top 10, or maybe even get a point in P8. So let's get into the sprint. But before that, putting some more upgrades on the car, we decided to go with an aero upgrade, so should be on the car for Belgium.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Norris, Albon, Stroll, Joe, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Bottas, Gasly, O'Reilly, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Ocon, De Vries, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Here we are on the grid for the sprint race here in Austria. Pretty self-explanatory strategy. Going on the mediums for the whole 12 laps. No pit stops, obviously. So yeah, let's just try and make up as many positions as we can and make up for quali.
The formation lap gets underway ahead of today's sprint. It's going to be interesting to see who gets pole position. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
So here we are, the lights are on. And away we go. Oh no. Shocking. For some reason the clutch, I was holding the paddle and it just didn't, I'm not sure what happened there, it just didn't, I suppose, activate like I was holding the clutch, and it just stayed in neutral. So, not a great start then. De Vries, Tsunoda, so the two AlphaTauris, opting to go on the soft tyre. Interesting. I'm pretty sure Piastri did the same thing. So, their tyres should be dead by the end of the race, hopefully, and we'll be able to at least get past Piastri. The car did feel pretty good around here. Felt like I had some pretty decent pace, even though we screwed up quali as we go wide. But yeah, no, car felt pretty good, felt pretty responsive most of the time. And yeah, should hopefully help us out in this sprint race, as we are trying to catch up to the back of Kevin Magnussen and Valtteri Bottas, as trying to drop Gasly behind with Alonso behind him. So it's going to be quite an eventful sprint and race, I reckon, as we enable the overtake using all of our battery pretty much nearly. As we're going to send one up the inside of Magnussen, we pick up some underbody damage there. I was not even expecting that, that's why I didn't say anything. Wow, what a big send. As we have some yellow flags, I believe there's going to be Magnussen out of the race as we go wide. It is a Haas, and it is Kevin Magnussen. So we absolutely send one. Also, you would notice, if I can speak, my ERS was stuck on. I had an ERS fault. I was spamming the button like crazy. So yeah, that was quite annoying. Wasted all of our battery. So now Alonso on our gearbox. No safety car or anything for Magnussen's car down there. So yeah, I think the plan now is to try and save up a bit of battery. Hopefully try and defend from Alonso as he's trying to send one around the outside. We keep it in there, we keep the position. I did notice that on the exit of that corner, the AI was definitely a lot quicker than me. So that will come into play later in the race as we go through the middle sector. And now we move on to lap 5, down the straight after turn 1, up to turn 3. Alonso trying to swoop around the outside. We go all the way down to first gear. We do get the DRS on him, so thanks for that, mate. And I'm going to try and drive away as Alonso doesn't quite have the speed to try and have a go back at us. Now as we move on to lap 6 of 12 here, Alonso again trying to go around the outside, this time at turn 1. So what, he's tried at turn 1, turn 3, and what's that, turn 4. So now, into the second last corner, we go wide, trying to give him space on the inside. We keep the position. So me and Alonso are having a pretty decent fight here as we move on to lap 7. As up ahead, what a massive battle up there. There's about 4 cars. It looks like Zhou, Stroll, there's that Bottas up there as well, and I think Piastri might be at the front of that little train. As Alonso is going to have another crack. Oh, we nearly go up the back of Stroll. Nearly have a big crash there. Luckily we avoided it. As now we're right on the back of Lance Stroll. Let's have a look. We're going to have a look down the inside into turn 4. And we make it stick. Very good job. 2 Aston Martins behind now. As we move on to lap 9. Piastri on them soft tyres should be getting pretty worn by this stage. Or the mediums would definitely be better. So we do get past him relatively easy around the outside of turn 3 then. As the other 2 Alfa Romeos having a bit of a civil war here. As they go side by side. And now, as we move on to lap 10, they come together. Zhou and Bottas, as we're going to try and get past Valtteri Bottas. Alonso as well, trying to find a way around as he gets past Piastri. And we are going to do a double overtake on both of the Alfa Romeos. We're going to go 3 wide. 3 wide, I'm pretty sure that was. Into turn 3. And we make it stick. So now we're up to P9. Got our teammate in Albon in P8. So he's doing a great job there. He's really been on it this weekend, Alex. Great stuff. So now, points could be on the cards. With 2 laps to go, Max Verstappen now out of the sprint. So we are going to move it to P8, and that means we are now in a points paying position as Zhou takes it straight from us immediately after we get it. But we are going to try and keep it around the outside of turn 3, and we are going to make it stick. So now, both of us Williams cars in the points for this sprint race. As now we move on to the last lap of the race. Zhou still trying to have a go at us. But now hopefully he gets caught up with Fernando Alonso. Hopefully. We're praying. Anyway, even if he doesn't, I reckon I back us to keep the position anyway. But it does look like they have had a fight. And they were about a second behind. Alonso looks like he did get past. He's going to try and have a crack around the outside. We get a little bit crossed up on the curb. Go out a little bit wide as Carlos Sainz takes pole here in Austria. And we are going to hold on to P8. What a great sprint race for both of us Williams cars, picking up about 3 points there. Every point counts. So then, that was a pretty cool sprint race to be a part of. Absolutely zooming up the field from, I think we're at P like 17 or 18 at one point on the start because the clutch wouldn't work. To getting a point. So I would definitely take that. Starting P8 now for the main race. Hopefully, we can stay in that top 10 and get even more points. Can't believe Verstappen retired. He's going to have it all to do in the race, as him and Kevin Magnussen, the only retirees from the sprint race. As now we have a look at the driver standings. There you can see Verstappen only holding a 14-point lead to Perez, and then Sainz and Leclerc not too far behind that. As now we have a look at the constructors, if I can speak properly, we move to 33 points, and Red Bull have a 41-point lead over Ferrari. So let's get into the race.
Not long to go before our drivers hurtle off the line and into the first turn, the Niki Lauda curve. It was renamed in 2019 in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Albon, O'Reilly, Fernando Alonso, Joe, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, Stroll, Perez, Gasly, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Ocon, De Vries, Verstappen, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about O'Reilly. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Here we are on the grid. As you can see, 15 laps on the softs, followed by 21 laps on the mediums. No rain forecast for this one, so hopefully we can put in a solid performance and bag some more points.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
And the 5 red lights are on, and away we go here for the Austrian Grand Prix, moving up to P7 on the grid there. Someone must have got a penalty, as, oh my days, holy crap, some big contact there, looks like between Albon and Norris, and we have copped it, absolutely copped it. Some bad wing damage there from Norris. I'm not sure about his car, But that is not the way we wanted to start our race. That's pretty much ruined our race. Orange front wing now. That is just horrible. As looks like we are going to come in and box for the soft tyre. Not the start we wanted to this Austrian Grand Prix. Hopefully Albon can pressure Norris as he gets past, and so do we. So now heading into the pits. Wanted to go pretty safe with this pit entry. As you're ready to see, I pretty much go very safe. And yeah, we're going to probably lose a bit of time from that. But I'm not really concerned about that right now. I'm concerned about getting a new front wing on this car, getting some more softs on it, and trying to catch up to the back of Magnussen and De Vries relatively quickly then. As we get a 7.5 second stop, not bad from the boys. And yeah, let's exit the pits and get our head down. Can't worry about what happened now, it's done. Let's focus on catching back up to the cars ahead. As now we move on to lap 3. Valtteri Bottas must have gotten a bit of damage there, as he is also in the pits. Now as Lando Norris close behind, we get a little bit caught on that curb. And now he's going to have a really big go at us up into turn 3. And it looks like he's going to make it stick. We think twice about going back up the inside, as he has a very awkward line through turn 3. We're going to enable the DRS. At this stage, I wasn't really sure whether it would have been better to be ahead or behind Norris, as we're just going to chuck one up the inside. We're going to keep it there, but he does end up getting the place. So now it's all about staying with Norris. As, I thought we were going to send one there. Thought we might have had a cheeky look. It's alright though, it's alright, it's early days. Still got like 34 laps to, or what's that? Yeah, about 32 laps to go, 33 laps to go. So, we're going to play the waiting game. Might end up using Norris for a bit of DRS, as we have some massive overspeed on him. We're going to go for it around the outside of turn 1, and we make it stick. Great move. Great move. We even get the DRS. So, let's have a look then. As we move on to lap 5, Norris coming back at us. And are we going to send one? No, we're not. We're going to let him have it. And look at the gap there to Magnussen and De Vries. Around 13 seconds. And yeah, at this stage you can see now the gap's down to about 10. I was kind of sussing it out, and I just thought to myself, you know what? It's probably better if we just let Norris go, using for DRS, and that's what we did as we move on to lap 7. As soon as I say that, we're going to have a little go around the outside of Norris. We're not going to quite get it as we look for the switchback. Not going to happen though. He gets a pretty good exit out of that corner there, enabling the DRS. I didn't really want to be overtaking him, because I really wanted to just be dragged up to the back of De Vries. But we make the move. As still about a 10-second gap there, as he's going to just chuck it back up the inside. We go side by side as we dip a wheel into the gravel. It's very good racing there from the two of us as we head towards the end of lap 7. Now, fast forwarding all the way to lap 12. Couple laps of using Norris for DRS. He did get back past us. Now into turn 3. We're going to have a look around the outside. Going a little bit deep. Looks like we got some pretty good drive out of that corner. Enabling the overtake for a little bit there. We have the DRS. And now the gap to Gasly and De Vries. Gasly has dropped back there. Is only around 4, nearly 5 seconds. So we have gained quite a bit in the last couple of laps. As hopefully we can just keep this pace going. Hopefully we can just keep it going and catch up to the back of some cars and finally get to some solid racing action. As now we move into lap 13, Norris getting back past us up into turn 1, goes up the inside. We kind of cut it a little bit, get a really nice switchback, enabling the overtake as he has the DRS. And still, the gap still around 5 seconds, as now we fast forward onto lap 14 with that gap now shrinking down to 4 seconds. So even though we've been fighting with Norris, it hasn't really cost us too much. We've both been just chugging along nicely, and we both want to just catch up to the cars ahead. So Now, as we move into lap 15 then, Norris pitting. Stupid pit entry, I reckon. That's just stupid. Why would you have them braking on the apex, on the racing line? Just accident waiting to happen. So we go a little bit wide there. And now we are pretty much on the back of Gasly, having the DRS now enabling it. So, and also a bit of overtake there. And, oh, we nearly go up the back of him. Did the same thing to Stroll. And we've nearly done it again. So, we have to be careful. Now, as we move just a bit further into the lap then. Hulkenberg at the head of this train. Looks like all three of them are going to pit. So again, with that stupid slowing down on the apex, we go a little bit wide. But you know what? I don't care, because that is just a stupid idea anyway. As now the message pops up on the right hand side, we are going to box this lap. So it's going to be really, really good lap. Going to use most of that overtake. As now we get towards the end of the lap, I take the usual racing line and then just peel into the pits. As this pit entry, I'm sure, is a lot better than the one in the sprint race. Not too bad, not too bad. I'll take it, I'll take it. Hopefully the boys can give us a good stop. Haven't seen any pit stop errors so far this season. On F122, I feel like they're a lot more frequent. As we get a solid stop there, 2.3 seconds. As the turbocharger looks like it's getting a bit worn. As it looks like Norris and Bottas and Tsunoda get the undercut on us. As Gasly and De Vries and even Verstappen getting in this battle now. So we just try and keep it up the inside of Pierre Gasly into turn 3. We do have the DRS as well. We enabled the overtake. Now the main priority is just to catch back up to Norris. If we can get back to Norris, I'll be happy. As we're already on lap 18 of this race then. Now onto lap 19. We have caught up to the back of Tsunoda. We go around the outside at turn 1. Nice move there, nice move. As now Bottas, Magnussen ahead on the hards. And then Norris ahead of them. So now, moving on to lap 20. Bottas about half a second ahead. We're getting a lot of time on the brakes up into turn 3 then. As we enable the overtake. Open up the rear flap, the DRS. And now we're going to send one around the outside. And we're going to make it stick. Very, very solid. Good pace on these mediums compared to the hards at this stage. And now decided to let Max Verstappen through on lap 22 here. As we're going to do the same thing that we did to Norris. We're just going to use him for DRS. And just hopefully hope that he'll drag us up towards cars in front, as we did have a little look there up the inside, but wasn't that interested in it. And now towards the end of the lap we have caught up, as we nearly go up the back of Verstappen, opening up the DRS. Zhou and Verstappen going at it. Verstappen up the inside, little bit of contact, and we're just going to try and follow Verstappen through on Zhou. And it looks like we'll be able to do that pretty successfully, as Magnussen is ahead of Verstappen, still defending from Zhou. It's been a solid race so far. It's been pretty. It was fun for me to drive because A, it went quickly, and B, I had some good pace. So hopefully that's coming across in the video. It was one of my favourite races of the season. So yeah, just all round solid race. So now moving on to lap 24, getting an overtake done here on Kevin Magnussen. We're going to dive it up the inside, and Lando Norris just ahead there in P11. So hopefully Verstappen, he's boxing, Verstappen boxing with about 12 laps to go, 11 laps to go. So we move up to P12. And now it's all about trying to get in the DRS of Norris. Now, when this happened, I was like, oh my god, like I thought Verstappen pretty much screwed me, and I really thought that it would have been better for me if Verstappen just did one more lap, could have caught up to Norris, because I had Bottas out of the session as we get a VSC for the first time in a couple races. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me. Anyway, it didn't last for too much longer. We did end up getting past Lando Norris, as now it looks like he's going to try and come back at us on those hard tyres, and he just zooms by. And at this stage, we had about, 5 laps to gain about 5 seconds on Lance Stroll. So I thought, you know what, let's just let him go and let him, drag us along, hopefully use the DRS. But, yeah, I don't know, I decided to fight him in the end, as we weren't really gaining much on Stroll. So, with about 2.5 laps to go, we are still fighting, as we've got about a 4-second gap to Zhou behind, and a 4-second gap to Stroll ahead. And now, as we come across the line to start the final lap of the race, it's pretty much only P11, the max, for us today, as Carlos Sainz comes across the line to win for Ferrari. A very good weekend for them, and we are still fighting with Lando Norris here for P11. Obviously no points on offer for us, but it's all about the ego, finishing ahead of the other driver. He's got really close here, under a 10th.5 at one point, and as we come across the line, we are going to finish P11 here for the Austrian Grand Prix. Not a bad race for us, not a bad weekend. Still coming away with points because we obviously finished P8 in that sprint race. Also picking up driver of the day in that as well. So, solid weekend for us. Even though we got no points in the race, I still think it was a very solid performance.
Win here in Spielberg, and rightly so. A brilliant effort from the whole team. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So here we are after the race there, obviously dropping down from P7 for us. We had some decent race pace, so I would have loved to have seen what we could have done without that damage on lap 1. So Alex doing a great job there to finish P7, even though he went backwards. Verstappen still picking up fastest lap, obviously won't get a point for it because he was outside the top 10. Bottas and Tsunoda looks like, or Tsunoda might have just gone down a lap, but Bottas, as I know of, the only DNF from the race. I'm not sure about Tsunoda, but yeah, let's have a look at the standings then, as Carlos Sainz has closed the gap to Verstappen to 1 point. Verstappen having a very bad weekend, obviously not picking up any points. I'm not sure about the sprint race actually, so he might have picked up at least a point. But holy crap, unbelievable in both championships. Carlos Sainz and Ferrari really having a crack. It's going to be a cracking battle between them top 4 in the championship. So, yeah, hopefully we can have an exciting second half of the season as we head into the next one at Silverstone. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.